Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well informed. Today, we're plunging into something quite personal. It's an account of navigating a Parkinson's diagnosis and that initial journey with medication. Our mission here is really to unpack the realities, the emotional, the physical, the practical stuff that come with a major health challenge like this. We're drawing from a really powerful narrative, quite raw.
Yeah, raw is the word. What's immediately striking is just the sheer impact of hearing the diagnosis. It wasn't just clinical information. Hearing Parkinson's, the description was like hearing death, death, death.
Yeah.
It really highlights how a word, a diagnosis can just, well, it reshapes your whole reality in an instant.
Yeah.
It's not just information. It feels like an encounter with mortality.
Wow. Yeah, an existential shock.
Exactly. The heart drops, brain goes numb, panic,
Yeah.
crying, just an overwhelming visceral reaction.
That sounds incredibly isolating. Amidst all that shock, how does someone even begin to think about practical steps, like getting medication?
Yeah. It's remarkable, isn't it? It points to this inner resilience, I think. Despite that huge emotional blow, the person did take that step, got a prescription for L-Dopa, which is often known as Cinnamon. It's a combination drug, aims to boost dopamine. And, obviously this is one person's story, not medical advice for everyone listening, but it really shows that pivot from shock to trying to do something.
Right, taking action. And this Cinnamon, its job is basically to help the brain make more dopamine. A pretty significant chemical adjustment. So what was the hope versus the reality there? You'd think starting medication, you'd hope for some quick relief, right?
That's the natural expectation, absolutely. An immediate good response.
Yeah.
But the reality in this case was quite different. The effect on the physical things, the tremors, shaking, shoulder stiffness, it was apparently so slight. Well, they barely noticed anything at first.
Oh, that must have been so disheartening.
You'd imagine so. Especially after taking that huge first step. It raises that question, what does that do psychologically when the expected relief just doesn't show up?
Yeah, definitely. So beyond that initial kind of letdown, what other physical things started happening with the medication?
Well, there were some unexpected side effects. Dizziness was a big one. And that was tough because it actually piled onto an existing dizziness issue from back in 2009. Led to using a walker, just sort of grinding through, as they put it, this really bad dizziness and imbalance.
Wow, compounding an existing problem.
Exactly. Then there was dystonia. That's a prolonged muscle spasm, can last minutes, even hours. In this account, it wasn't severely painful, thankfully, just felt slightly in the left leg and foot. But you can imagine the terror if it was a severe, unrelenting cramp like that.
Oh, God, yeah. That sounds awful.
And then also dyskinesia, those involuntary muscle movements. Described as scary when your toes just start doing weird things on their own. It really underlines how unpredictable Parkinson's can be, how sometimes your body just feels out of your control.
So you've got the diagnosis shock, the medication disappointment, these challenging physical side effects, and then there's the whole mental side of it, the unseen battle. How did that play out?
This is a really crucial insight from the account. It wasn't just that mental health was affected, it's that anxiety and panic actually seem to become dominant symptoms themselves, even overshadowing the physical stuff sometimes. Described as the #1 most horrible, horrific portion. This uncontrollable fear, this panic. It's a direct symptom for some people.
That's huge. So how do you even manage that?
Well, the advice mentioned was things like trying to breathe through it, concentrate, meditate. Sounds simple, maybe, but apparently surprisingly helpful for getting through those acute moments.
Right, those coping mechanisms. What about longer-term mood things, like depression?
Yeah, that came up too. Unpredictable mood swings. Happy 1 minute, then suddenly crying, feeling like you're losing your mind. A key takeaway shared was trying consciously to stop the cycle of panic and worry. And importantly, talking to a doctor about getting medication specifically for the panic. That did seem to bring some help and clarity.
It really shows the deep connection between mind and body, doesn't it? And how weirdly unpredictable these journeys can be. Speaking of unpredictable, the account mentioned something quite unexpected. A lighter side effect?
Ah, yes. A rare one, but documented with Cinnamon. Random erections. It's described almost humorously. Maybe linked to blood pressure effects of the drug, who knows? But it's just one of those odd bodily reactions, maybe even a strange kind of stress release, finding a moment of absurdity in it all.
Right. A little bit of unexpected, maybe even slightly awkward comic relief amidst everything else.
Exactly. So this whole story, it really paints a picture of navigating something like Parkinson's as this complex mix. Physical symptoms, medication effects, the huge mental health piece. It just underscores the incredible resilience needed day to day, the constant adaptation.
And we briefly touch on this idea of on and off times too. Those periods when the medication is working, giving better control versus when it wears off and the symptoms return. It's like this continuous dance, this negotiation with the disease and the treatment.
Absolutely. Which brings us to a final thought, perhaps. What does it tell us about, well, the power of sharing these stories? When someone bravely puts their vulnerable experiences out there, even the awkward or humorous bits, how does hearing that kind of unfiltered truth change how we understand chronic illness and maybe even the human capacity to just keep going? Transforms personal struggle into something we can all learn from, doesn't it?